Hey everyone, it's Quentin Figueroa here from Slayermint.com, and let's talk about democratic socialism, because democratic socialism is socialism. This definition right here is taken from Wikipedia. It says, democratic socialism is a political ideology advocating political democracy alongside social ownership of the means of production, with democratic management of enterprises within a socialist economic system. The term democratic socialism is sometimes used synonymously with socialism. The adjective democratic is often added to distinguish it from the Marxist-Leninist brands of socialism, which is widely viewed as being non-democratic. So, that is an interesting definition because it's manipulative to call something democratic socialism, because pretty much all socialism is democratic, so it's redundant. And it's calling it that to try to make it good by calling it democratic, as if adding democracy or democratic in front of something makes it good. Because non-democratic socialism is communism. So, democratic socialism doesn't exist because all socialism is democratic. What it should be called is democratic communism, because communism isn't democratic, and democratic communism is pretty much socialism. So calling it democratic socialism is purposely using a word that people view as good, like democracy, and putting it in front of it. So if you're into democratic socialism, you might also be into democratic rape, democratic war, democratic slavery, democratic theft, democratic murder, democratic racism. These are all perfectly good things because they're democratic. And if you do something democratic, it's cool, because if majority of people say something's good, then it's good. That's how democracy works. So democratic rape, everyone. Let's do it. Have at it. Democracy. Woohoo! So I just had to point out how manipulative and freaking absurd that word is. And to call something democratic socialism as if it's different than socialism is retarded, because democratic socialism is socialism. And socialism is theft on a grand scale. And if everybody's democratically choosing to do theft through taxation, then you're just a bunch of democratic thieves. So have fun with that one. Now, let me just break this down a little bit more for you. So, capitalism is voluntary trade, where communism is involuntary trade. Capitalism does not use violence. It does not initiate violence. Communism initiates violence. In order to do something with communism, you have to initiate force to collect taxes from people to make them do what the bourgeoisie says to do. Now, if you do something in a capitalistic system, you don't force anybody to do anything. They choose voluntarily what to spend their money on and what to do. So capitalism is pretty much the complete opposite of communism. Capitalism is voluntary and there's no initiation of force. Communism is involuntary and it does involve the initiation of force. And then you have socialism. Socialism is in between capitalism and communism. It's a mix between the two. It's like a hybrid. It basically, it's like a parasite. It's like a parasite that attaches onto capitalism. Capitalism is the only economic system that actually can produce something sustainable in the long term and improve the quality of people's lives. Capitalism improves things over time. Communism makes things worse over time. Socialism is in between, and socialism latches on to the producing agent, which is capitalism, and socialism grows from capitalism. And as socialism grows, it decreases capitalism. And socialism can only grow because that's what people create. As socialism increases, capitalism decreases, and as socialism increases, people become poorer and dumber, and they increase socialism because of this. So socialism grows, capitalism is the host, which decreases, and the host just takes the life out of capitalism. So to say that socialism can exist with capitalism is completely wrong, because the fuel for socialism is capitalism. And if you burn up the fuel, you don't get more through socialism. Socialism doesn't produce, capitalism produces. Socialism takes from capitalism and wastes it. It uses it. It consumes. It's a parasite. It needs a host, and it destroys the host. And when it destroys the host, it can't last either. So that's wonderful democratic socialism for everyone. So I just want you to know that changing it from socialism to democratic socialism might fool some of the people. It doesn't fool me. It's still the exact same thing. It's still morally wrong. It's still theft. And just because you add democracy in front of something that is wrong doesn't make it right. It's not right to have democratic rape. So if democratic socialism is good, let's have some democratic rape.